Hello, and thank you so much for joining us on this brand new episode of the program, Sport Pizza, where we give you the absolute best in ever exciting world of sport. My name is Brownson, and the show is well loaded for your viewing pleasure. Now, lots of things happening in the world of sports. Now, sometime last week, the Tigress made the nation proud as they dominated Africa and, of course, brought back the title home. But we can't say same of our boxing brother, Anthony Joshua. He was well beaten by Usyk. We have the highlight on the show today. And also lots of footballing activities coming this week. Europa League is on the card, and of course some big games to come in major leagues in Europe this weekend. We'll be giving you all the updates you need to know about that after this break, so don't go away. Welcome back. Now, the Afro Basketball Championship in Cameroon ended on a climax as the Tigress, of course, put up a very fine performance all through the tournament to return back with the title. It was a tournament where we used the opportunity to launch ourselves to the world. Now, we've dominated Africa, but it looks like these girls are ready to face the world. Kunle Philip joins me at this time, and of course, he'll be throwing more light on major things happening in sports. Kunle, good to have you on the program.
Yeah, it's great to be here once again, Brownson, to talk sports. And just like you said, the Tigress really make the whole nation proud with that win against Mali, 70-59. I really had my reservations, proud to the final, but the girls really gave it a good shot, because when you look at the stats, a road to the final, I want to say that the Malians were going to give the Tigress a good run for their money, but the Tigress really made it count, winning, dominating from the first quarter to the very end, and it was really very massive. Third win on a bounce, and it shows that really we are actually dominating Africa as we speak. We hope that the girls will be able to dominate the world. But right now in the African continent, it used to be the Senegalese with 11 Afro basketball titles. 11. Right now we've taken over. Remember that we won in 2017 in Mali, Bamako precisely, and in 2019 in Senegal we also won it. Right now in 2021 in Cameroon we won it again. 3 wins on a bounce, and I tell you, the future looks very bright for Nigerian basketball. The male basketball, Afro Basketball Championship for men ended not long ago, and we couldn't win it. And a lot of people will ask the question why we couldn't win it. We opted to play some inexperienced players in the tournament. I tell you, if we had most of the players that played at the World Cup, no team, not even the Tunisian team, would have been able to stop us. But really, it was a fantastic one for the coach, and of course, the players giving a very good, a commanding performance. Nigerian captain Daura Elonu won the tournament's most valuable player. She was really very phenomenal from the beginning of the tournament to the very end. And of course, Ezine Kanu also was listed in the all-star squad of the competition. The Cameroonian power forward, talking about Marina Ewodo, was also part of the all-star squad as well. Also, Malian center Maria Koulibaly, and of course Senegalese forward Yassine Diop completes the all-star squad. Like I said earlier, Brownson, the future looks very bright for Nigerian basketball.
Definitely, the future belongs to these young ladies, but of course, we still have to give it to Senegal. They are still the all-time, champions. I mean, if you want to look at the numbers of titles they've won over the years, but sometimes these jinx needs to be broken. And good to know that it's Nigeria that have broken that long spell.
Absolutely,
on them. But on the flip side, we can't say same in the boxing parts of it. Anthony Joshua gave his very best, but it wasn't good enough on the night. He was well beaten by Alexandra Usyk. And then, I looked at the 11th round of that bout. I felt very pity for Anthony Joshua. At some point, he just couldn't defend himself anymore.
I had so much expectations prior to the bout, and I felt that Joshua was going to take Usyk to the cleaners. But when the bout started, I began to have my reservations because from the beginning, Usyk took the bout to him, and it was really almost telling everyone who cared to listen that this particular one belongs to him. Anthony Joshua came out to say that he wasn't seeing very well, and you could see, I think it was the left side, the left eye, that became blurred, and it became heavy. to the point that it wasn't seen very well, and you know, Alexander capitalized on that. I really have to give it to him. Talking about Usyk, he really showed the desire and of course the enthusiasm to win that bout, and of course he was able to win. It's sad for Anthony Joshua. Some people will say because you know the way Usyk was throwing the punches and Anthony Joshua was at the receiving end almost from the beginning. This is not what we used to see.
Now, Kunle, don't forget that the last time Anthony Joshua lost or lose the fight was with Andy Ruiz, and there were talks about, you know, the way he fought. Some people thought probably he ate something that affected, you know, his body and all of that. But we have seen that replay again in this fight against Usyk. Now I think every boxer now knows that if you want to beat Anthony Joshua, for whatever thing you want to do, take him to round 7-8. When Joshua gets to round 7-8, he's as good as, I mean, it's as good as he has lost that bout.
It's just like the Iron Mike Tyson back in the days. You know, when you take Iron Mike Tyson from round 1 to 3, he tries to knock you off from the early round. But if you're able to succeed, then he will be in serious trouble. I think that is a bit different when you look at this bout, because from the beginning, from round 1, I think that Usyk had the upper hand slightly, and you will see the result from the umpires that you know, he had the upper hand from the beginning to the very end. I think that one of the major causes was because Anthony just feels that he is well prepared. He feels that, I don't know, maybe I'll call it that he actually underrated him because he was actually looking at the bout, there's so much bout, you know, that everyone has actually talked about.
Maybe was already dreaming about Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury, and you know, he looks like one that is not mentally and physically prepared for this bout. I think that this is what actually affected him, and I think some people will also come out to say that some people came out after the bout that, you know, they see some hanky-panky in this because it looks like the bout was staged because the manner in which Anthony Joshua boxed leaves much to be desired. But the rematch clause have actually been
activated.
It's been activated, so we're going to see another one, and I think that Anthony Joshua will be well prepared. He actually underrated Usyk because, you know, when you're coming back from a lower cader to a higher cader, you know, one will feel that, you know, one who has dominated at the upper cader would have an advantage, but we didn't see that against Usyk. So he will be well prepared for the next, but I think that he will take that next one.
Let's hope that Anthony Joshua would not, I mean, in the rematch, he will not take his opponent for granted. I mean, sports, impossible is nothing. You do not underrate your opponents, no matter what happens. I think Anthony Joshua paid dearly for it. We hope that lesson has been taught and learned. This is the second time. I mean, the third time may not be the same. Now, let's talk about sport fashion now. Sports and fashion. A lot of people are wondering how does sports and fashion goes together. Now, if you notice very well, sports wears has a way of making you look very smart and all of that. Now, there's a new trend where you can mix sports and fashion. I mean, there's some wears right now you can wear to different places. Now, we have Lisa Inaku, who unveiled the sports fashion show at Teslim Balogun Stadium last weekend, and she spoke as well as Lagos State Government representative. And in that event, we also had the Super Eagles Supporters Club Prince Vincent Okumagba also present, and all together talking about the sport fashion show. Now, the sport fashion show will be coming up sometimes in December, between 21st and 25th of December. Is a 5-day event, and I mean, I still want to see how sports and fashion will come together to meet up the needs of some fashionistas we have in Nigeria. Let's take it straight to what happened at Teslim Balogun Stadium. We'll be right back.
And the main objective of the show is to help promote jerseys wear, and where we can put on our jerseys too, and where not. Sure, we can put it on to everywhere. You're feeling okay? No, it's a jersey wear. Am I supposed to put it on to church? No, it's not done now. Come that day, you know you start putting on jerseys to church, to club, to anywhere you're going to.
They need to, paint the picture of what the future will look like in sports, and that is exactly what our vision is.
Welcome back. Now let's go straight to the English Premier League. Now, the 3-4-3 formation of Thomas Tuchel has been phenomenal, has been very fantastic. But sometimes game doesn't just go according to plan. That was what happened against Manchester City. Now, don't forget, prior to that game, Manchester City has lost a hat-trick of game to Chelsea before that. Now, lesson was well thought and learned. They looked at how to break the 3-4-3 formation, even though it was very difficult. At last, the job was done. Thomas Tuchel finally, lost to
Manchester City.
To Manchester City, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a good game. I loved it. I was actually looking forward to how Pep Guardiola was going to tackle this game, because just like you said, he has lost 3 games on a bounce to the coach, and I feel that if you lose for the 4th time, definitely Tuchel one would have said he has total dominance, or he has the antidote of Pep.
No, you can just
Guardiola.
say like Yawo, in this part of the saying that your wife.
Yes, yeah, I think I'm really very delighted. That's why it's very expedient for coaches to always bend their tactics. You don't have to put up the same tactics for every game.
How do you bend a winning tactics? 3-4-3 formation. You went to Champions League, defeated everyone. You came back. I don't think the formation has failed so far.
Absolutely.
Because it's not possible for you to play 50 games and win all the 50s. If you even look at the team that Chelsea lost to, fantastic team. Manchester City is like the best team in the world right now, because they have every department.
They are one of the best. No, it's not the best.
In terms of personnel, they have every.
They are not the best, Brownson. I disagree. I think that it's just unfortunate that Chelsea actually lost that game. It was a bad day in the office for the coach and of course the players. We've not seen Chelsea play the manner they played in a very long time since Tuchel took over. But some games doesn't just go right. But when you talk about the best team in the EPL right now, I think it's just the coaching problem. I think Manchester United has classical.
I totally agree with you. I think Manchester United has the best team in probably top 3 league in Europe.
In Europe, where you look at
I'm yet to see a team that has more players than Manchester United. But the problem I have is Manchester United at this point. I think the board knows that I think the board knows that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should leave that club right now. But I don't know why they are dilly-dallying. Now, when you get to mid-season, you want to bring in a new manager, you start struggling.
Then you will have dropped a lot of points.
Because
they're already out of the Carabao Cup.
Yes.
They're out right now, and it's not looking good for the team. There are times that they win convincingly. I don't see any reason why they have to struggle against Aston Villa. It was a disappointing result. When you look at pedigree to pedigree, when you look at the caliber of players at their disposal, they were able to. Manchester United signing players season in, season out. Even half season in January, they sign players. They have everything at their disposal. When you talk about strikers, when you talk about the midfield, when you talk about the defense, they've got everything. Why they are not getting the result beats me hollow. Ole Gunnar has not won any major title since he took charge. And then they are having faith. I think some of the coaches didn't have this opportunity. Even when your man
Jose Mourinho was begging for one defender. He was saying, just give me one defender.
They told him to make do with what he has, and this is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They provided everything for him.
He even has Ronaldo.
Yeah.
So I was joking with someone that even if you bring Messi and add in that United squad, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer cannot deliver with those qualities. It's about what you know.
It's about what you know. What you have, you give. What you don't have, you can't give. And I think that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does not have the charisma, the tactical acumen to take Manchester United to the greater heights. If you're talking about some lower clubs, Manchester United is not a club like, we will talk about West Ham United and some clubs who are not futuristic.
Yeah.
Manchester United believes in trophies.
In titles, yeah.
Titles. And, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not ready. It's not looking like a coach that would take Manchester United to greater. I don't know what the management is thinking when you've secured services of so many players and the coach is not getting the result and you are satisfied with it. I think it leaves much to be desired.
It reminds me of Arsenal.
Come on, Brownson. Arsenal won against Tottenham Hotspur. We've not talked about that.
I agree. No, I'm saying when we talk about ambition sometimes, Arsenal wins game, but we know Arsenal doesn't look very ambitious right now. Now, when we talk about coach, another coach that comes to mind is Nuno Espirito Santo. He came in, won his first 3 games with Tottenham Hotspur, and some Tottenham Hotspur players were throwing tantrum at Mourinho. He was this, he was that.
They've been brought back to life.
After those 3 games, after 6 games, they've won half of the games. They've won 3 and lost 3. 3 back-to-back defeats. It doesn't look good for Tottenham right now.
It doesn't look good for them.
Now, before you comment on it, I was shocked to see Harry Kane leaving his striking position to come and assist the defense. If a striker is at the defense line, playing deep into the midfield, assisting defense, who scores the goal?
Yeah,
it looks like a big problem.
That's a major problem for the team. I think that, when you watch that game, Arsenal were really on the ascendancy and they were tearing the Tottenham defense at piece. The defense splitting passes were coming in and the players were shaking. I don't know what actually happened to them in that game. I think that it's been loss of confidence after that 3 wins. The game they lost in the last 3. I think since that game they've not had that mental strength. They've been a bit of panic in the defense, and there seems not to be any result right now, because I feel that when things like this happen, you need a psychologist to actually spoil you on. The defense are having problems, and that is why if the defense are not able to hold their own, it will be difficult for the midfielders. The midfielders will need to fall to the back, and just like you said, Harry Kane had to go to the back to support the defense. So who gets the goals when the opportunity comes? How will even the opportunity comes when you are not? There's nobody to provide the assist.
So it looks like a big problem.
Absolutely.
And under Jose Mourinho last year, towards the beginning of the season, we see the resurgence of Harry Kane and Son Heung-min. Both of them produced one of the best partnership in English football. I think between both of them, they had 9 assists each. Absolutely. And at this point, they were scoring lots of goals. So I think there's a piece of puzzle that Nuno Espirito, because don't forget, Harry Kane is yet to score this season. It's shocking for a striker of his caliber. Hasn't registered a goal so far in the Premier League. I think he got the goal in, Carabao Cup thereabout. But he's yet to register a goal in the Premier League, and he left lots of things to be desired of that team. But because of time, we'll not be able to look at all this team in depth. So this weekend, we are going to be seeing big game now. Man City last weekend took on Chelsea, but that's not all. They'll be busy again this weekend as they travel to Anfield to take on Liverpool. Now, when Liverpool and Man City meet, it's a clash of the titans. Now, the both coaches understand themselves very well, and even though Liverpool have had a little edge over Manchester City in the past 10 years. But Kunle, if you look at Man City form, beating a team like Chelsea should give you lots of boost going to big games like this.
Yeah, it should give you a boost going into a big game of this nature. I think for Manchester City, they are well spot on, and the way they actually tore Chelsea apart last week will really give them some confidence. No attempt.
What was Chelsea torn apart? Come on, it was just 1-0 victory.
Yeah, 1-0 victory. When you look at ball possession,
no football. You see that.
Are you making a case for Thomas Tuchel?
No, that's the problem I have. Football is not about possession. It's about scoring goals.
It's about scoring a goal.
They scored just 1 goal. So I wouldn't say that was just were being torn apart.
No. I think they dominated. Okay, maybe I used the wrong word. They dominated from beginning to the very end. And it wasn't looking like Chelsea were going to get a single goal. They didn't have a shot on target. Which club do you support?
You are going to say that they dominated possession, right?
Yeah, they dominated possession. So
they were not torn apart.
They were the better team from the beginning to the end.
Okay, now against Liverpool, we've seen what Liverpool has dealt with Man City time and time under Pep Guardiola.
Yes, they've dealt with them over time. But I think that it will be a different ball game this weekend, because when you look at the way I watched the game involving Brentford and Liverpool, it was a very exciting game. It really showed for some people who felt that Brentford took Arsenal to the cleaners and the Arsenal were very bad. They could see Brentford fought from the beginning to the very end.
And I mean, if you look at where they are on the table, it tells you how well they are playing.
They're not doing badly, and we have a Nigerian there, Victor Onyeka. Back to the game. It's going to be a big cracker. It's going to be very exciting. I think that for out of the two teams, Manchester City will be well boosted by virtue of the fact that they won their last game against a top-rated team like Chelsea. So it remains to be seen how things will pan out. But I think that the game can go either side.
Definitely would be a very good game this weekend. Let's see how well Manchester City would hold up against Liverpool, who is scoring for free right now. Now, if you're a Manchester United fan and you're wondering who your darling team would be playing, it would be Everton. And of course, that game would be happening at the Theatre of Dreams. Let's see if United can get a redemption call. Now, let's move away from football and talk about Formula One. It was a big day for Lewis Hamilton after he won his 100 career race. I mean, phenomenal. That's, he has a legendary status right now as far as F1 is concerned. And guess what? I think this guy is not ready to retire.
Yeah, he's not ready to retire. He's been able to break almost all the records.
All the records you want to think of.
He said he looked at it from the beginning whether he was going to be able to register such win, because he feels it's massive. And you know, at some point he said he used to discard it, that this might never happen in his lifetime. But you know, seeing it happen is really indeed a big dream come true. His name will go down in history book as one of the greatest, not one of,
he's the greatest right now.
Formula One
driver,
grace Formula One. And you know, this season alone he's been able to win 5 major titles. I felt that this season has been a bit competitive. Verstappen, there's been all the battle between himself and Verstappen. Every now and then, you know, at the point in time, I think one of the races, Verstappen got injured and he complained. And this season, Verstappen has also won 1 or 2 titles. But give it out to Lewis Hamilton. He's been absolutely consistent, and I think that he's going to continue. He's not going to stop, because he has not even spoken about retirement. You know, after this year, we're going to be having Formula One next year. The person that will hope to eclipse his record will really have to do something extraordinary.
The driver has to start from 18 thereabouts.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, Schumacher drove until 40. So I mean, and as it stands, Lewis Hamilton it's maybe a little figure away from 40. So he's still got like maybe 2-3 years, you know, to run through that. Now, that's a wrap on our show today. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Now, don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms currently displaying on your screen right now. Now, you can also go to YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Some people feel subscription you have to pay. It is absolutely free. Just type Sport Pizza and, of course, hit the subscribe button. It's that easy. Kunle Philip, thank you so much for coming on the program today.
Yeah, it's always my pleasure to be here, Brownson.
All right, Kunle, now on behalf of my production crew, thank you so much for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.